Alright, hey, what's up YouTube? It's Flexing Joe. I'm back with another daily recap for October 24th, 2024. We're going to compare NQ, VIX, and ES. This is take number 4 at trying to get this video out. So let's see how I do this time because I've been making lots of like silly mistakes. So everybody has a good laugh at my expense. I just want to point out a few things here before we really dive into the charts. So the higher time frame EMA clouds are on. You can see this one that's kind of olive green is the 9 above the 20. So ES with a strong bounce out of its 20 daily EMA, also following this little sweep area here. So you see there was a large push right at the beginning of power hour where it wicked down under here and then it popped. And then today we swept under that area. There was clear signs of buying. Also the daily 20 EMA defending, and then there was a strong pop from there, right? For NQ, it's really just chopping in between this daily 9 and 20 EMA, and then this yellow one is the 50 EMA over the 34 on the hourly, right? So, you know, that's the 10-minute 200 that rides along that, because the hourly 34 is essentially the same thing. So you can see that we're not able to make a breakout and then like base, and just starts to break out, pulls back, break out, and pull back again. We just can't seem to get over, and again, look how it's failing over this 34.50 hourly EMA cloud on NQ, or say another way, outside the daily 9 EMA, right? We're just kind of stuck there. But there was a large move down the day prior. We had a sizable gap up following Tesla's earnings, and then we just consolidated in a very tight range. The low to high was not even 200 points on an ATR of just about 300. So, this should have been expected, right? Experienced traders will be expecting a consolidation day after the market makes a huge move, right? Trends, consolidates, and then trends. Those are the two states of the market. So, gap up again on both markets, right? And last thing, the VIX here for its daily, right, reclaiming its daily 9 and 20, and the hourly candle, so the hourly 34.50 is turning bullish, right? So we'll take these off, clear some things out of the way. So big gap up on the market. Tesla earnings, like I said, ES really breaks down at a certain point, is just holding lower and lower, and the whole gap is going to be filled. NQ didn't fill the gap, but really the thing to call out is something with VIX. So gap down on VIX, right? Markets, heating back up, VIX is cooling off, everything's fine. Going into the open, you finally have the three of them on alignment. You have CBC short, the news candle can't flip it long on NQ and ES. And CBC is short, VIX is long going into the open, and you get a drop. Okay, drop on both. Now, because the drop started in the last few minutes of this candle prior to opening, the VIX made this big jump up, which is also very bullish for VIX and bearish for the market. Now, one thing to call out is that the VIX does not chart every minute. There is a gap that occurs in the 920s into the 930s. So today's gap was 6 minutes, and then that last 6 minutes, there were the 6 minutes that occurred here, you can see there was a sizable gap. If you wanted to just quickly compare ES during that 6 minutes, so it would start here, right? So it starts here on this 926 candle, and then by the time VIX opens, we've dropped from 62 to 52. So we dropped 10 points on ES. Sizable gap down, right? Well, not gap down, but move down. That creates this little gap up, which is, of course, bullish for VIX, and then bearish for the market as the market continues to go sideways, catch up to the EMAs, and then push lower. So, also want to just call out that using the VIX as a tool like this is really an added confluence as to whether or not you should look for continuation, or look for the reversal or whatever. Couple things to point out. I identified this zone right here as buyers turning into sellers, right? Demand into supply prior to the open, and we were rejecting out of it multiple times, right? Now, you have a CBC flip long here into the 10-minute 200 EMA, right? Barely closes over the 10-minute 20 EMA. So you're just sitting right through here. It couldn't get over the orb, right? It just sort of died. but it did flip to CBC. Yes, you have a CBC flip short, and then ES is long. So now, okay, great. Longs, you're thinking, all right, I got all 3 long, I can go long. The problem with that, though, is that there's no follow through, and this is the first real CBC flip short into the EMAs, and then also you have this gap level that is supporting, right? Because this is where we gapped overnight. So with this support here, with VIX at support and the market at resistance, this isn't a good long to take. You'd have to wait for the breakout. You have to, and then the pullback, versus you're just literally buying long in supply. Like you're buying where the sellers are sitting. So you're just going to get pushed over, which is what happens once and then twice. The other thing to call out as well is that, you know, ES made the lower high here on the second one, right underneath the belly button area, that mid orb level, underneath this London opening print. But I wanted to just go down to take the 2-minute chart on NQ, and the 2-minute chart on NQ shows you why you shouldn't have been looking at this for the long. So yes, the CBC flips here, but you get this candle here. This is an exhaustion candle. This is your third candle of the 10-minute candle, right? First one's 11:10, then 11:12, now 11:14. This is halfway through the candle, you're starting to see buyer exhaustion. You get this next one, they can't close above that. They're still closing below this 2-minute 200, which I don't really use all that much, but it's a nice level. Kind of, you can see that we usually get interactions around, but I don't use it for trade ideas. I'm just like, oh, okay, I see what's happening right here. So next candle, doji candle, indecision, buyer exhaustion, right? Like where are my strong buyers that I had here at the start of the candle, right? What happened? They're fizzling out. So that's fine, and sometimes that will happen and the trend will just kind of go sideways and then still end up pushing up, because again, you had indecision. But what confirms that indecision is bearish is this large drop, right? So the candle opens here, second 2-minute candle, you get an enormous drop. Now this is why I tell people I don't leave a bid set, because I don't like to. I want to see how we're going to get the interaction at the EMAs. So everybody probably saw this candle by candle flip long and was looking for a 2-minute 9 interaction here to go long. And if you were, right, and you were hoping for it to come, right, hopefully you didn't just take it, because that's just come down way too fast. You know, on NQ, by the time it would have touched, let's just call it 50 right here, because I'm sure it angled down a little bit after. So right here, 50, you know, dropped like 14 points from that candle's open. So that's a big drop to just take it blindly without waiting to see if the buyers can be there to support you. And of course, they don't, and you're down 15 points by the time the candle closes. So that's another thing that just show you why you have to wait for that confirmation, and you have to look at the whole chart objectively and read the price action before you look for VIX's confirmation. VIX ultimately flips out, right, and is back to bullish. And then the following candle, all 3 are in alignment, right? VIX and ES aligned. NQ was a little late to it, but did give you a great trade once it confirmed. So, but I can see how people would be making the same argument, like, aren't you getting close to this demand? Couldn't this be the setup, especially as this was pushing up bullish? Could this be the setup of the higher low? So if we go back to the 2-minute time frame, oops, you know what? Let me just make sure to mark the exact spot. I want to look at that candle there. Go full screen. Okay, so this is what's different. You got, yeah, you pushed down into the London open area, which hadn't really been respected. You're nearing the halfway or golden zone point of the gap up. That's fine. You can see they were trying to hold that, but here lower, higher low, but then wicks down lower, doesn't close below it, but still, you know, you only want to defend it, but you are in buyer's territory. But look how the 2-minute EMAs look. 2-minute EMAs are bearish, under 10-minute bearish EMAs. So you have more confluence here, and do you see how the EMA caught up and kind of drifted sideways versus like this peak where it pushes up and then knifes down? So when you have a gentler drift and the two of them come together, I know that in real time it didn't touch it like this. It was probably a little ways away, and same maybe for this one, but you can see sort of, you know, this price action and where to get in, looking into the pullback. Also remembering how that 2-minute candle was formed you pull back. I'm sorry. You pull back about midway through that candle's body, like super zoomed in. Okay, so that's really the difference where this starts to shine, where you can see everything is in confluence, and this is already by the time you're here, the VIX has already been long, so you can see that the 10-minute, 9, and 20 are supporting on VIX. Another thing too, I don't drop down on lower time frames. I just stay on the 10 for VIX. Right, so VIX is always up on my vertical monitor on the 10-minute chart. Holy smokes, I'm at 11 minutes. I apologize for kind of running this on, and I hope you find value in like me covering some trades and ideas and stuff. But yeah, please like it if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.